Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, as always, just want to let you know that I'm not your financial advisor, and investment advice that is never, ever given out on this channel. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into today's video. But before we do that, if you're new, this would encourage you to go back to day one of the series, just to go ahead and get those introductions out of the way and to see how things will flow throughout the video content. And for anybody that's joined us along the way, we thank you again so much, as always, for continuing to not only support the channel, but to continue to check in with the series and support the series as well through your continued participation. So with that being said, we don't have anything to go ahead and review today. So, and as we know, today is Inauguration Day. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and stay in discovery mode. Now, with that being said, nothing to do in regards to the gear, and customizing, what we see, in terms of what we got here, on our main dashboard, if you will. But as far as the filters are concerned, we will go ahead and take a look at all three chains today and see what we got going on. Hopefully base won't be too disappointing, for us, as we've seen in some of the other tokens that we've looked at, on that particular chain. But with that said, nothing to do here on the Dex side of things. As far as liquidity is concerned, we're going to leave that as we always do at 1,000. Market cap will go to our standard 50K, and we're going to go out to 150K. See what we get there. As far as the pair age, we'll go ahead and we'll say with new stuff, we'll go out to 50 hours, and we'll go with a 10% minimum value in the 24-hour change. So let's see what we get here. If we get a ton, then I'll go back and I'll adjust the filters. We got just over 50 tokens. Let's go ahead and let's just, I was thinking about going to just 100K on that before I did the 150, but you know what? It's okay. We can always go back and edit, right? So here we are. All right, so got a much better number in terms of the number of tokens that we've been given. Now we've already got the 24-hour here teched, just so we can, sort it, from the greatest gains in that window all the way down to, over 10%, because that's why we put in that 10% value in the 24-hour box. And, I would expect to see, a lot of, POTUS, inauguration day type oriented, tokens. So we'll kind of go ahead and stay in that wheelhouse today. Since after today, we should, be moving out of that political, kind of meta, into something else, which is likely going to be, more sports oriented, the Super Bowl, that kind of thing. So at least that will be my guess. But with that being said, we'll start here at the bottom. We'll go with this one, Mero. Let's see here. We got Bezos coin, Crypto Reserve, Trumpinu, which I think we looked at that one yesterday, I'm pretty sure. And then we've got the Bitcoin purchase program. Sure, we'll take a look at that one as well. Now, for anybody new to us, we always have these boxes, with the question mark in them. Those are typically always going to be scams, so I'll open up a few of them. And so, it's very easy to go ahead and take a look at these and just kind of spot out, what you typically would see. Now, if anybody's, been with us for a while, you obviously already know, as I've reiterated this multiple times. And I'll continue to do that just so that you, also just consistently understand, what you need to avoid in terms of, working through Dexscreener. That typically with these, where you see that box with the question mark, you don't get the socials. A lot of times you'll get some odd looking charts. This one actually doesn't look too terrible. We looked at a token that was actually pretty legitimate not that long ago that had a very similar chart, and it absolutely, and it went nuts. But that's not going to always be the case. And I've said this, there are always going to be outliers in terms of, looking at these type of tokens, where they're likely going to be scams, where they may actually have a legit looking chart, but I would still advise that you want to avoid those. Now, that's not providing investment advice. It's just providing you some recommendation in terms of making sure that you avoid tokens that are likely going to scam you. So this is one. And then looking at this one, this is a base token, no socials, you got a straight up chart for the most part. It's been alive for 4 hours. Typically, you're not going to go ahead and see a chart like that, so we're going to leave this one alone. And this one, as well, no socials, been alive for 4 hours. We're still getting some activity on this one, and who knows, this could be an outlier, but either way, I wouldn't risk it. So, We're going to leave that alone, and then we're going to come back out here. We're going to adjust our filters again, and we're going to go out to 150K. Okay, so we're going to go, since we already did 50 to 100, we'll do 101 to 150. All right, and so I do this so that I can get the tokens in small chunks, so I don't really like to see, 60, 70, 80 tokens on, one page. I like to go ahead and break it up, so that I can look at things a little bit, easier, so. Okay, so with that being said, we'll continue to look at the bottom. So Trump's horse, we got Peking duck. No, we won't mess with that. And we can see Trump Talk is still alive, even though he's already restored TikTok. But we can also see, when we looked at this before, it was kind of staying in that 200K area, and so it's retraced, from there. And you can see, looking at this no buy activity, here in the 5, 1 hour, 6 hour slots. So I think that one's probably going to be done. All right, let's see here. We already looked at Amero, official Russia coin, sure. Been looking at some pump fund stuff, this morning. Starting to see some of these official other country coins come out. I know that Cuba coin started out on pump fund, and that one is actually, I think, maybe as of a half hour ago, was still sitting over 13 million. So that one did extremely well coming out of pump fund. Let's see here. We got Trump coin here. We'll take a look at this one. Trump's cleaner, sure. And we got a base Solana theme on base. We'll take a look at that one as well. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these charts. All right, so this one doesn't look too bad, and we get a Telegram, so we'll keep it. Remember, quick scans, guys. This one, I don't really care for the chart too much, but we'll keep it, and they got a Telegram. The basis coin here, looks like, a lot of retracement, coming out of this area. So we can see that evidence, here, looking at almost minus 80% on the 6 hour. Not so sure I'm going to keep this one, so we'll get rid of it. And here on the USCR token, this is the US Crypto Reserve. Looks like it could be a little bit of an uptrend. No activity here on the 5 minute. Did you get a Telegram? Let's keep it for now. And here on the Trump Inu, so let's see if this was the same one from yesterday. I think maybe when we looked at it yesterday, I decided not to set an alert just based on what I saw, but if that is the case, and I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and just take a look at the video just to make sure, see if this one's the correct one. Okay, guys, so I did go ahead and go back to yesterday's video, and apparently, yes, this is one that we did set alerts for, so I don't know. Oh, you know what? Here's what's going on. You can see right here, it doesn't have me signed in. That's the reason why. All right, guys, give me a minute. I'll go ahead and I'll sign in. I was wondering, I'm like, I know that we looked at this one yesterday, and I don't, like I said, at the moment, I couldn't remember, why I wouldn't have set an alert for this one, but clearly because I'm not signed in, that's the reason why the alert's not showing. And that's a good thing to point out, for you guys. If you're not signed in, it won't save your alerts, but if you are signed in, it will save your alerts, so when you do sign in, it gives you, some options. You can connect, through Google and sign in with, with Apple ID, or you can connect the wallet. So keep in mind, it does make sense to go ahead and sign in. And once you're signed in, if you sign in through, the desktop, I'm on a laptop, and then you sign in on your phone, it will go ahead and it will sync, whatever alerts you create, throughout any devices, where you've got Dexscreener, where you're using Dexscreener and you signed in. So just keep that in mind. That's the reason why I advise, and again, not providing investment advice here, but I do advise that if you're going to use Dexscreener, that you should absolutely sign in, because it will sync that information forever until you decide to delete it, as far as I understand it, across any devices, where you're utilizing Dexscreener. All right, guys, so I'm signed in now, but for some reason I still can't find the alert. So I don't know, maybe I did something, yesterday that's just odd, and for some reason it didn't save it. I have no idea. But either way, you guys have seen me, anybody, that's been with us, from the beginning, you guys have seen me go ahead and utilize these alerts, over and over again without fail, not having any kind of issue. So I am guessing that it's something that I did as far as not saving the alert. But here in this screenshot, you can actually see that I did have, I did set these alerts, so I'm not really sure what happened. But either way, I wanted to bring this up just to go ahead and show you that I did find in the video yesterday, and we did create the alerts. Both of them were active at the time of creating the alerts. One, and they were both done at 60K, so set this to go ahead and go under at 30K. and set this one to alert, trigger, at 70K, whenever it goes over 70K. So either way, we can see I wanted to bring this up because again, we did find Trump Inu, at 60K yesterday. So I'll close this out, and then we can see here, with Trump Inu, if it was at 60K, yesterday, obviously there was some movement, here it looks like it, went to just over 100K. And then here at this candle, you're talking about, 115K. But either way, just wanted to go ahead and point that one out to you since, we're seeing that there was some movement on Trump Inu. All right, but we did talk about Trump Inu yesterday. The other one, since we're looking at some of these, joining some of these communities, let's move back on over, to, or actually we're not doing that. We're actually just still scanning, aren't we? So looking here at Bitcoin purchase program, we can see that they have a Telegram. The chart, we can see some peaks and valleys, on this one. So nothing going on here on the 5 minute, and they're in retracement or in a minus, on the 1 hour and the 6 hour, but it doesn't look terrible. We'll keep it. And then on Sprint, so this one I don't really like at all. We can see pretty big minus, here on the 6 hour. And I don't like the chart. So we're going to go ahead and close this one out, even though we do get a Telegram. Here, let's go to the 5 minutes. And then we can see it looks like it rugged, and then there was some buy pressure here. Nothing going on, however, on the 5 minute or the 1 hour, even though they get a Telegram. This is not one we want to keep. And then looking here at Russia coin, the official Russia coin looks like, they dipped pretty hard, real strong bottom level here. Then there was some interest that returned to the chart and retraced pretty heavily. So I think we're going to leave this one alone as well, just because it's minus across the boards. Chart's not looking too great. Not a chart that you really particularly want to go ahead and buy into. So I would imagine this one would continue to go ahead and retrace, to back to the bottom areas, back in this area. So, and then looking at this one on Trump coin, could it be coming out of this bottom area? Maybe, but I'm not feeling too, hot about this one. Nothing going on here on the 5 minutes, and we got a minus, almost minus 10, on the 1 hour. I think we'll leave this one alone, looking for something with a bit better buy pressure. Here, this one doesn't have a Telegram, so we're going to leave that one right away. And then the Melania coin, based Melania meme. So this is coming out of the base chain. It doesn't look terrible. Maybe it might be trying to come out, of this bottom level area. We do get a Telegram. Let's keep it for now. And we're going to go back to the filter. We're going to go to 151 to 200,000 and see what we get there. All right, going to the bottom, just staying consistent. We got some duplicates. You guys know I don't mess with the duplicates. So this is Gensler. So we'll open this one up. And America's greatest inauguration. Let's open this one up. America first, sure. Trump, let's see here. No, I'll move on. Official Tiffany Trump, we'll open this one up. And we'll go ahead and we'll open this one too, since we got MLK today and the inauguration. Let's see here. Official United States dollar. Sure, we'll open this one up. Official Republican. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. So let's see here. Oh, let's go to Gensler. So let's go to the 15 minutes. And this one looks like a pretty bottomed out chart, so we're not going to mess with it. And they didn't have a Telegram. This one doesn't have one either. It's got a website though. And we got America first, so this is obviously a Melania token. Looks like it may be coming out from the bottom, but they do not have a Telegram, so we're not going to leave that one alone. And, for anybody that's new, if I don't see at least a Telegram, I need to see, where they can engage with each other as a community. So I don't care if they've got a Twitter or if they've got a website. If I don't see a Telegram, then I leave it alone. So that's just how I will operate, throughout the series, and that's been consistent, since day one. Okay, so with this one, Tiffany, official Tiffany Trump, my big concern is that they had a pretty high peak here, came down, even though it's spiking up a little bit. It's likely going to go ahead and stay in these bottom areas, so we're not going to touch this. And then here, let's see here. This one, looks like, there's a run up here. There was a small run, another run here. You guys knew what I've said before in regard to this, that once a chart has had multiple runs on that chart, it's a heavy lift to keep asking that of a chart And then what happens is that, you essentially become, exit liquidity, when you continue, when you come back into a chart that's already had, 2 or 3 runs on it, thinking it's going to go ahead and run again. Those are very, very rare situations that I've seen in a number of, having looked at a lot of charts. So my guess on this one is that it's likely not going to do it again. You're also looking at a minus, almost 75%, the 6 hour. So I think that, while it's nice to go ahead and see this little pop of green on a candle, show up, it's going to get eaten up by sells. And even if you get a little bit more buy pressure, the sell pressure is coming, because anybody that didn't get out at this level or get out at this level, they're going to get out here, especially if there's more buy pressure. All they're doing is waiting to see how many more buys are going to come in. Somebody's lurking around the corner, and they're going to go ahead and eat those sells up. So that's my thought there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the official United States dollar coin. Let's take a look here at the 15 minutes. So, I mean, it could be, start of an upturn unit right here. So I'll tell you what, let's keep this one, up as well. This one, the official Republican chart doesn't look too bad, even though we had a pretty, decent sell candle, and sell pressure here. We do get a telegram, so we'll keep it. And then DOTUS, day up W the United States. So obviously it's a Trump-oriented thing, token. I think we'll keep this one. And we looked at this before. We looked at the rest of these. I believe decided we're going to keep these. Just making sure. Okay, so let's see if we got anything else before we move into checking out the channels. So we're going to go 201, and we'll just go out to 500 now. So let's see what we get. Okay, so going back to the bottom just to stay consistent. All these at the bottom, level, those are all scams. So he's back. Saw this one coming out of Pump Fund as well. Let's see here. America First, we already looked at that one. And keep in mind, guys, these, Dexscreener does, it automatically, adjusts. So based on the last market cap that we looked at, America First, it sounds like, probably moved to market cap, and that's the reason why we're seeing it now. Patriot statue, sure, we'll open that one. Ivanka, let's see here, no. Person of the year, sure. USA, sure. Okay, all right, so we got those, and let's see what the charts look like. He's back. Not really crazy about this chart, honestly, but I'll keep it. And then this one, no socials. So, and this one, person of the year, looks like, looks like it's heading down. Not really sure if this is going to head back up. Plus we're looking at minus 60 on the 6 hour. Let's keep it for now, and we'll see. This one, definitely not crazy about that chart. And then this one, okay, so what we got here, we got about, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, something like that, across the all the tabs here. Now, what we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and start to look at these at some Telegram channels and see what we got going on now. As to, and everything checks out, the channels, then we'll go ahead and we'll proceed, with setting some alerts, but as far as this one's concerned, I mean, you don't even get a portal, so I'm going to leave this alone. I do like the animation here, which I think is pretty cool, but we'll go back out here. So we're going to leave these back alone. And again, I had reservations, in regards to the chart as it was anyway. The Telegram for person of the year. Let's see what we got going on. We do get a portal, which is good to see. Okay. So volume good, 12,000 holders is what they have here. And so we can see that we had a buy just come in a minute ago. And this obviously based on the fact that I was further up in the chat. It looks like I've looked at this one before, so I don't know if I did that, through that series or if I did that on my own, but either way, it's evident that I've been here before. So let's see if they got anything going on. Not seeing trending yet. Okay. Let's see here. Looks like, somebody putting boost prices, out there. So I've actually never seen the boost prices, so this is good information actually. You can see the smallest boost is $100 and the biggest boost is $4,000, so if you've got somebody, you're seeing, a 500x boost, associated with a token, and that's only for 24 hours. To go ahead and see that, I mean, it does show an intentional investment, in the token, by the team, if you're seeing, a boost this large, and so even the 100x boost, we've seen that before, that's a grand, so, but yeah, like I said, I've never seen the boost prices before, so this is good information, for anybody as we continue to go through the Dexscreener series. If you're somebody watching this video, and this is, I've been pointing out lately, why it makes sense to go ahead and just watch through the videos. You never know what you're going to see. You never know what you're going to learn. So, or whenever I may drop, information that is in complement, to the format, of the videos that are being done, that you just never know. So you're not going to know that if you're skipping around, in the videos. So it does make sense to go ahead and watch, more of the content, so you don't miss out, on little nuggets of information, like this. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and continue to move through, so, but yeah, I'm not really seeing trending, but, and I don't see any evidence of a raid, but clearly there are still buys coming in, but there's just not a lot of volume, right? So they paid for 100, X boost, so what was that 100X boost? If we go back, in there, let's go back to the pricing, if I can find that. Okay, so 100X boost, they paid $1,000, or almost $1,000 for that. So, okay, so with that being said, I do think, though, we'll probably leave this one alone, just because I don't anticipate there being a lot of volume coming to this one. And you can see the sells are coming in, and they're not subtle sells. I mean, they're large buy sells, or large amount sells. So we'll close this one out. And looking here, we can still see that there are buys coming in. Let's take a look at the Telegram, see what they got going on. Okay, so we did get a portal. Okay. So let's see here. All right, so just over 790 members, in their channel. And I'm not sure that this would, yeah, this to me is probably going to be scam stuff, so whoever is moderating, this particular channel should definitely probably get rid of this, okay? And this, so we're seeing that the moderation is not taking place, within this particular token. With that being said, I'm not saying that, if you don't see heavy moderation, that you should, decide to jump out of a token, but it is, part of your analysis, so for me, if I would be looking to potentially take an entry in a token and I see that the mods, aren't at work, cleaning up the spam in the channel, I'm going to be less interested in that token, because again, I want to make sure that if I jump into a token, that the team, the moderators, they're protecting, the investment, so if you see you're in a token, and all of a sudden, the moderation team is just not doing their job, guess what happens? I mean, people typically tend to sell, and they tend to leave, because they want to make sure that you're not going to allow FUD to enter the channel, and that you're not going to just simply allow spam to enter the channel, because we've all seen, if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, we've all seen, spam that can be, very inappropriate spam that comes into a channel. So if they're allowing stuff like this, what else will they allow? Especially when you look at the fact that this right now has been sitting here for almost 10 minutes. And so, based on this time frame and my clock, so if they're allowing this kind of stuff, it's just a piece of your analysis and evaluation in terms of should you, take an entry or not. I don't really care how bullish you are in regards to what the token is or the ticker. If they're not doing their job, that puts, the investment you make in the token at risk. So for me, on this one, I am definitely going to be out, so I'm not interested in this. So we're going to leave the group, and we're going to head back on over, to the rest of the tokens that we're looking at. So even though we're getting a bit of an uptrend here, I think this one's going to come down, honestly. So, and I think the reason why they're seeing a bit of an uptrend is because obviously they paid $4,000, for the highest, boost. But if you're going to pay that kind of money, for the highest level boost, why on earth wouldn't you make sure that your channel is moderated to keep people in the channel? I mean, if you're gonna make that kind of investment, it makes no sense whatsoever to me to not make sure that your channel is being moderated. So I think they're dropping the ball on this one. I think you're going to continue to see retracement on this, regardless of the money they've spent for the boost. Now, looking at this one, Official Republican, let's take a look at the Telegram and see what they've got going on here. Okay, we got a portal. We got just over 200 members, here in the chat. And so we can see that a buy just came in, which is good. We got evidence of a raid. The raid's not real big, so it shouldn't be a real, hurdle to try to, accomplish completing that raid. Okay, and so I don't see any trending. I don't see that. But again, we got the raid going, so they're trying to go ahead and get the blue check, for their X account. Okay, and they can see that, we can see that here in this message. And then they've got over 15,000 holders, or not 15,000, sorry about that, 1,500. 15,000 really would be incredible. We can see that there's still some messaging coming in, since we've been here in the chat. New buys still coming in, which is good to see. Now, as far as anything else going on, they did pay for ads. They've got, the 100x boost, going. So they've made an investment, here in terms of trying to build and grow exposure, for the overall token. And the chart doesn't look too terrible. Now, for me personally, if I'm going to set an alert from this, it's going to be an under alert, because I don't like, granted, don't get me wrong. It's good if you got in earlier, that the candle's right here, and then it's staying right there for now. But, as a new person coming into this chart, I'd want to see a lower entry, so that's the reason why. Setting an over alert doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Now, I mentioned this before, as I have on a number of tokens, you can always go ahead and top blast this with maybe a couple of bucks. If, and if it was me, that's what I would do. If I was going to go ahead and throw some money on this chart, just because, I would want to utilize that buy dip function, in Maestro. The links for the bot are in the description. I mentioned this several times because, again, gives you the opportunity to not only have Dexscreener, watching the chart, through the alerts, but also having the bot, watch the chart, for you, and then you can set whatever threshold you want to set in the bot, and it can go ahead and make that buy for you once it hits that threshold. I did that on the token last night, on a Melania token, and I didn't like, what the chart looked like, when I came upon it, and so, I thought that it was going to go ahead and retrace, pretty heavily at one point, and it did, and so, and I ended up falling asleep, unfortunately, but, when I woke up, I could see that the dip, buy was activated, and I even set a stop loss, on that token as well, just because, again, you just kind of never know, especially during the late night hours when you're sleeping and whatnot. You want to make sure that you're also protecting, whatever money you decide to go and throw into the chart, so that if it does, hit another low beyond, whatever dip buy you made, that you're preventing, further loss by, setting that up within the bot, so again, they're just things, like I said, in terms of recommending, Maestro, if you're going to go ahead and trade, what you guys know on this channel, we never encourage you to do it, but, that bot is very, very helpful to make sure that you can mitigate any losses and to watch stuff, when you're just too tired to do it on your own. Okay, so we can see that more buys have come in, and, like I said, we'll go and we'll set, some alerts here, so we're setting at 222. We're only going to set one alert on this, like I said, so 222K. And I'm going to go ahead and set that alert at 190K. Okay, so, and there we go. Now, hopefully, since this has been a little weird today, that I don't know what on earth I could have done yesterday where I didn't save that alert, but hopefully this should go ahead and stay in there. So, and we can also go ahead and look, so we can see official Republican alerts, and we can see now that it shows up here, official Republican Trump token, that's the ticker, and so we can see that it's supposed to alert me when it goes under 190K. So I just want to show you that you can always go back and check your alerts just to make sure that the alert did actually show up, in your list. All right, so with that being said, we'll go ahead and close this one out. And then for Dev of the United States, let's take a look at Telegram, see what we got going on there. So we're in a bit of a retracement, on this one, no actual portal, but we can also see, right away when we come into the chat, that we can see evidence of a raid. We can see they're looking for, one reply, one retweet, and 3 likes. So very small raid that should be very, very easy to complete, especially when you're looking at 91 members, here in the chat. But they're saying only 3 of them are online, but either way, with such a small group, this is a small raid that should be very simple to complete. All right, and then if we head back down here, we can see that, we're still getting buys that come in, or that are coming in, okay, and we can see that, right there. Don't really see any activity in terms of trending, so as I'm just scrolling through, so nothing going on in terms of trending, which is fine. We'll go ahead and we'll close this out, and then coming back here, we also don't have any ads, kind of boost that's been paid for, either. So that could also contribute to why we're seeing a retracement here, but it's not too bad. We're only looking at minus 30 on the 1 hour. So I would say that it's still possible this one could come back up, but again, based on what we're seeing, we're not seeing ads, we're not seeing boosts, we're not seeing, any big raids, and we're not seeing trending. So what do I think on this one? I think this one is likely to continue to retrace because you don't have any catalyst to keep this one moving, and you don't have anything going on that's giving it additional exposure. So this one, I think we're going to leave alone just because I don't really see this one heading back up at all. This one, we can see where the chart's headed. I think this one's going to continue to head downwards. Nothing really going on here on the 5 minute, the 1 hour, or the 6 hour. And we get no big numbers, even on the 24 hour, everything is very, very small. So I think for this one, probably not worth our time to go ahead and check it out. And here with the US Crypto Reserve, again, not a lot going on. But I think the chart here looks a little bit better, so let's take a look at the Telegram and see if they've got anything that may serve as a catalyst to get this one some more exposure. Okay, so we got a raid going. This one's even a little bit bigger than the last one that we saw. We can check out when the last buy took place. That was at 10:44. So that's been, over 10 minutes ago. So I would say for this one, because it doesn't meet my standard in terms of, that 10-minute buy window. I want to see a buy within, within the last 10 minutes of me, coming into the channel. So, and I'm not seeing that one here. So this one means automatically that this one is a no for us. So, and then we'll close this one out. And then looking here at the Bitcoin purchase program, let's see, the last buy came in, it was $1,000. Let's see what they got going on here in the Telegram. Okay, so we do get a verification portal. So here's our click, and we got just over 360 members here in the chat. So we're going to go ahead and clear this one out. And, and a buy just came in, so we got buys that are coming in. We got ETH boost, so they obviously have a ticket here for that. Keep in mind, guys, as I try to go ahead and educate you on some things you want to take a look at when you go into these channels. Sometimes these tickets, are not actual, verified real tickets, So what I tend to do if I see that, I'm entering a token and they haven't yet started trending, I'm going to wait until I see that trending, see them show up on the leaderboard before I do anything, so I don't just simply take it as, oh, they went ahead and they posted that the trending should be coming shortly or coming soon. No, I will wait. I know it's tempting to go ahead and just buy in because, you see that and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they already paid for it. I want to get in before they start trending. One thing that I've noticed is that half the time when they post a ticket that trending is supposed to be coming, for some reason, and I can't for the life of me understand this, but you have people that start selling. I don't get it. I've never understood it. But yeah, you would think that trending and showing that you've got trending coming should actually increase buy pressure. I have seen so many times where it does not increase buy pressure. It actually leads people to sell. And for the life of me, I don't get it because it seems really kind of counterproductive to do that. But people do it, so, but either way, with that being said, if you're going to, if you come into a channel and you see something like this, what you want to do, at least what if it was me, is I would wait until I actually saw them show up on the leaderboard, and then I would make a decision from there as to how I would like to proceed. So, and even though they say that they were supposed to show up, when was this? This was 3:13 a.m. and this was this morning. Okay, so this was several hours ago. So here's the thing, just go ahead and you scroll up. You don't see any kind of link, where it's showing that they're trending. Okay, so that means the trending was active, here at 10:47, which, I mean, that was what, about an hour ago, so we can go over to trending. We're going to click on the link here, and it's showing that they were number 7. So this is the Bitcoin purchase program. So make sure you know what name it is. Go up here to the pin message if you don't see it right away. All right, and so they say they were number 7. So we're not seeing Bitcoin purchase program anywhere, in this leaderboard, which means their trending is no longer actually active, so okay. So just be aware that you always want to go ahead and check that out, especially if the trending is active, but yeah, again, since we've been here, we've seen some buys, so this was 3 minutes ago. We'll go back on out here, and so yeah, I mean, that was the buy that came in. All right, so there's not a lot of buy pressure because again, they don't have trending going on anymore. They're not paying for ads. They don't have a boost going. They got a raid, but that's not really in most instances really going to bring you a lot of buy pressure. So this one's 50-50 in terms of where it can go. We'll set two alerts, an over and an under. We're currently sitting at 73K, so we're going to go over to market cap 73K, and on the over, let's go ahead and make the over 90K. All right, so there we are. And then on the under, let's see, 73K. On the under, let's go ahead and let's make this, 55K. Okay, so because like I said, if it's going to go down, I think it's going to go down hard. If it's going to come up, 90K is enough of an indicator for us to kind of see it kind of move away from those trenches, those bottom level areas. All right, so we're going to close that out. And then for the Milani token, this one's on base. Let's take a look. You can see they've got a 500x boost, going, so they paid pretty good money, for that one. Got some ads going, so they really are trying to go and get this one some exposure. So let's see what the Telegram looks like. Okay, it looks right away like this is CTO. All right, so what was the last buy? Last buy was 2 minutes ago, which is good to see. Okay, and they got the boost going, but I'm not really seeing anything else. So no evidence of raids, which we would have already seen that by now, and I don't see any trending. So what you got going on is you got the boost, and you got the ads, and those are going to be through Dexscreener, but nothing going on natively in Telegram. Okay, so. And is that going to be enough to go ahead and, kind of turn this candle, upwards? I would speculate probably not. I think you need more than just a boost, and the ads. So especially, I think you need something within Telegram to get this, to complement whatever you're trying to go and do out here. All right, so the positive is it looks like they've got some money to work with. The unfortunate part of it is that when there's no engagement from the community as far as trying to help complement, what they're doing marketing wise. So yeah. So for me right now, I will set an alert on this, but I'm skeptical as to whether their current marketing, approach is going to be effective enough to move this in another direction, or in that upward direction that we'd like to see, right? So we're sitting right now at 115K. So it's going to be an up alert. So 115K, and I want to see this, hit 140K. That's going to be my indicator that may, help me understand, may help me, take on a different viewpoint as far as whether I'd want to investigate this token further for a possible entry. Okay, so give me one moment. All right, guys. So with that being said, I think that's going to do it for us today in regards to today's video. I appreciate you guys tuning in when you've got so many different options across the entire YouTube landscape as far as tokens to, investigate, look at and so forth. And even with respect to content to look at and evaluate and, just enjoy, from day to day. Certainly appreciate the fact that so many of you continue to tune in, to the Dexscreener series as we explore Dexscreener as a platform to try to find, tokens early before they pump. That pump can be anywhere from a 2x to a 10x and beyond. Everything that we've seen, so far, in the first 40 days, on this, in this Dexscreener series. So again, we know that today's inauguration day, regardless of what, side of the aisle you are on, today is going to be whatever it's going to be, as far as the next, 4 years are concerned, so just take it for what you will, like I said, regardless of what side of the aisle that you stand on. And, I tend to just think, optimism, regardless of who is in office, is important, so let's just be optimistic, for the future and for our country. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.